The Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra might be the spec-weighty beast that is standing out as truly newsworthy, yet it's not the phone that most of individuals are probably going to purchase. In fact, most will probably decide on the more moderate and nearly more reasonable Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus. Here is our audit of that plus-sized model, maybe more than any past age of Galaxy S phones. The S20 and S20 Plus bring a practically indistinguishable client experience to the table, and as you'll figure out throughout this audit, the equipment varieties that are there have almost no effect with regards to picking which one to purchase. Design, directed by a sweeping 6.7 inches 20:9 perspective proportion display. The S20 Plus seems like a major phone on paper, and keeping in mind that there's no rejecting that its enormous display offers an extensive and pleasant survey insight, the phone's actual properties and proportions appear to be determinedly misleading. Through the consolidated impact of the phone's 186 grams weight, 73.7 millimeters limited outline, and smooth 7.8 millimeters profile, it seems like a lot more modest and less unwieldy gadget than you could anticipate. Samsung's facilitated the point of the adjusted edges of the display, so one gave uses undeniably simpler, in spite of the fact that there were times while extending my thumb across the screen actually proved excessively, leaving me wishing I'd settled on the more modest standard S20 with its proportional 6.2 inches display. All things considered, the overall style of the S20 Plus don't stray all that much from last year's phones, with a perfectly developed sandwich of delicately adjusted Gorilla Glass and metal, by and by. It ought to be noted, however, that the S20 line, especially in enormous dark, appears to clutch smears and fingerprints more promptly than most leaders in late memory, so a case is encouraged. Look at our best Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus cases highlight on the off chance that you're on the lookout for one of these phones. The camera module moves to the upper left of the phone's back and takes on a seriously forcing rectangular structure, first presented toward the beginning of 2020 with the Galaxy A51, A71, S10 Lite, and Note 10 Lite, which isn't so outwardly satisfying as the S10's focal camera situation. Moving the Samsung logo down to the base does, at any rate, give the phone a more moderate appearance. The vast majority have had sufficient opportunity to grapple with the destruction of the 3.5mm headphone jack, notwithstanding. The way that this age is the first of the Galaxy S line to officially nix the part truly does in any case sting a bit. Basically, Samsung wanted to incorporate a fair sets of tuned AKG USB-C in headphones and box. One misfortune that isn't probably going to cause any tears is the evacuation of the Bixby equipment button. Not in the least does this make for a cleaner and general design. However, Samsung presently allows you to program the power key to open any application. Plus, there are easy routes like camera fast access, which are valued as well. Different parts of the design that aren't as promptly clear incorporate IP68 residue and water opposition, alongside help for 15-watt remote and 9W converse remote charging, which will play pleasant with the new Galaxy Buds Plus, which Samsung sent off close by the S20 series. Screen: Samsung has consistently graced its best phones with remarkable screens. However, the S20 line could well offer the best displays of any phone available at this moment. While the 6.9 and board of the S20 Ultra is noteworthy, the phone is only excessively damn large for the typical client, with the S20 Plus probably finding some kind of harmony of size versus ease of use, for media sweethearts at any rate. Insofar as you're okay with the ergonomic compromise and the slight drop in pixel thickness which the ordinary S20 can reign over its bigger kin, the S20 Plus actually has an extraordinary display. The WQHD Plus resolution renders symbolism with fresh detail. The HDR10 Plus ensured dynamic AMOLED 2X board offers clear variety reproduction and amazing differentiation, and Samsung has now embraced higher refresh rates with the choice of up to 120Hz survey, bringing about especially smooth visuals and movement that is great for films and gaming. The same remembered to be as an approach to safeguarding battery duration. The phone doesn't allow you to set both WQHD Plus resolution and that 120Hz refresh rate to run and show, so you need to go with a decision. By and by, the leap from 60Hz to 120Hz is a more observable improvement, and just loans to the phone's feeling of responsiveness and speed. The other part of the phone's display is the integrated ultrasonic finger impression sensor. It appears to be a sufficiently solid arrangement, yet the innovation hasn't exactly continued on from a year ago. It's not quite as smart as some optical in-display or capacitive unique finger impression sensors, and the dynamic region across which your print can be perused hasn't been extended by the same token. Camera: the greatest contrast between the S20 Ultra and its more modest S20 brethren is without a doubt the camera arrangement. The Ultra yells about its ranting 108MP principal sensor and 100x space zoom, while the standard S20 and S20 Plus make no such cases. Samsung's true line is that both proposition 3x mixture optical zoom. However, after a little insightful work, it's reasonable the organization is a twisting reality to some degree. We carefully describe the real essence of the S20's zoom abilities. Yet the main focal point is that notwithstanding any apparent trickery on Samsung's part, the cameras on these phones are as yet amazing, past allowing the phone its zoom capacities. That 64MP sensor additionally empowers one of the S20 line's title highlights, 8 Kelvin video recording. While it's an undoubted specialized accomplishment, actually the phone's 4 Kelvin video recording is quite a lot more usable and competent, shooting in 8 Kelvin outcomes in enormous records that need predictable self-adjust regardless go through a striking level of pressure. We shot our entire Galaxy S20, S20 Plus unpacking in 8 Kelvin, utilizing the S20 Ultra, which provides you with some thought of what the Plus is prepared to do. Performance. The S20 line keeps on existing in two prudent structures, recognized by the processor at their particular hearts. In business sectors incorporate Europe and the UK, you're bound to experience the Exynos 990 adaptation, while the US model games Qualcomm's ideal and most splendid Snapdragon 865 chipset. This shouldn't make a big deal about a distinction to performance. With the Exynos models, we tried conveying reliably high outcomes that were just bested by any semblance of the iPhone 11 Pro in computer chip performance explicitly. Battery. One region where there is certainly going to be a deviation is concerning lifespan. As with past Samsung leads, the Snapdragon models have reliably conveyed better battery performance over their Exynos-loaded partners, and contingent upon which surveys you read, you'll see that battery duration is either recognized or essentially commented upon as adequate in view of the chip at the audit model's heart. The S20 Plus S lifespan is best depicted as probable enduring most clients daily without stress, giving out very nearly 8 hours of screen on time. Utilizing the out-of-box display default of Full HD Plus resolution and a 60Hz refresh rate. As referenced before, you can decide to up both of these to WQHD Plus resolution or 120Hz separately and in certifiable testing. The last option came about in 5% to 10% less battery channel inside a similar time period. Samsung merits a colossal congratulatory gesture for the quick charging innovation at work in the S20 series. For one, because of its consistency across every one of the three models. Yet in addition, it demonstrates that higher wattage doesn't a quicker charge ensure. The phone accompanies a PD agreeable 25-watt quick charger in enclosed and testing reliably topped off the phone's extensive 4500 mAh battery in a little more than 60 minutes, with 56% charge accomplished in only 30 minutes. Software. The client experience here is indisputably Samsung, with the organization's One UI 2.1 running on Android 10. Surprisingly, it works effectively of guaranteeing a ton of its local encounters are open for 1GAV utilization, and keeping in mind that there is certainly a level of pre-stacked swell and a small bunch of copy apps. The organization has basically made it more straightforward than any time in recent memory to stow away or uninstall its own encounters, which can then be re-downloaded from the Galaxy Store as you want them. Improvements have been made to make Bixby less meddlesome, while as yet having the option to convey relevant data with a swipe right from the really home screen, while motion-based route is presently the default, aligning it more with stock Android. Finally, thanks for watching this video. See you again next time.